What's up? What's up? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Legend 4 back in the building. A short, brief podcast, unless me and Tim Wayne get into the glow, as I like to call it. We get into that zone where we lose track of time when we conversating. So, welcome to the podcast. I guess this is episode one and a half. Technically, we wanted to continue our talk about the Sony pre E3 2018. So, we had some amazing news drop uh, this afternoon in regards to that. But before we jump into it, Tim Wayne, how's your week been? What are you playing? How are you feeling? Let the world know.
Hey man, it's been a good week in the video game world. I've been keeping up with a lot of things. I'm really excited for a bunch of games. We got some games coming out this week, or not this week, but this month rather. That
Yeah.
I'm really excited for. I know I made a comment about one last time, and that didn't go so well. A lot of people wasn't feeling it, but hey,
Wait. Which game? Which game? My bad.
listen, I'm ready
The
for Detroit to become
oh,
human.
I was gonna say Super Lucky Tales DLC, but my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, nah,
My baby loves
nah,
that game. My baby loves that game. Real
nah.
talk.
But I'm excited about
Detroit become human.
Detroit Become Human. Just
Yeah.
because I want to do everything wrong in the game. I
Mhm.
normally lean to doing stuff the good way. If you're a Mass Effect fan, then you know what I mean. But hey, we got Detroit Become Human. We also have State of Decay coming out. I saw some gameplay of that earlier this week. Really excited about it.
Mm.
So I'm hyped, man. And then of course we all know what happened with the E3 stuff. So I'm really pumped about that.
Okay, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. Myself, I was feeling good this afternoon. I got out of the office, played a little golf for the first time in 12 years. Was looking real terrible out there, but had a good time. So it was a real good thing. Drove to San Antonio to do it early this morning. Came back and went to the office and did a little work before I came home. But yeah, man, I saw some news come across my Twitter feed as I was rolling home, listening to that old Two Chains, that first Two Chains album. Tracks like 4 through 7 is
Yeah,
all bangers. So
it's
I was
all
feeling
bangers.
good. Windows down, drinking my iced tea on the way to the house. Um, but yeah, man, you gotta have the sweet tea if you're from Texas, baby. Austin, Texas, baby. Now, we're missing a couple of guys, and shout out to those guys. Things out of their control. They can't be here tonight. Whether it be beer, whether it be hanging out with the kids, or whether it be working. Much love to those guys. We hope to have you guys back soon. So
Hold it
big shout out
down.
to
We
Gamer
hold it
Son.
down.
Big shout out to the coach and hashtag change the gamer tag back. Hulk Onyx, change it back to Black Onyx. My man actually may join. I haven't heard from him. I shot him a couple of text messages just to say what's up. Hey, we're doing it live. He did text me after golf and was a little bit, trying to put the peer pressure on me about going in the office after golf on a Friday. But hey, man, we gotta get these dollars, man. We gotta make it happen. So moving on real quick, talking about those games, Tim Wayne coming out. I am excited about the State of Decay. We're going to probably try to jump into that next week. Xbox. We'll get into a little bit of Xbox if we have time. We're not going to be here very long as you and I, kind of a 1v1 thing, unless Hawk jumps in here. Just we're talking about PlayStation. We ended last week talking about the exclusives and what we could expect. And here's what I sent you just as a refresher. We're just talking about it pre-show, but
Yep.
PS4 exclusives, and a big thing I had a problem with. Some of my favorite YouTubers out there last week, and 2 weeks ago. Floating this discussion out because of the God of War hype that the PlayStation is the greatest console out there, and you know me back since Game Crazy days. I look at it
Yes.
PlayStation is a good console, but I always approach it as what kind of gamer are you? And if, you're a social gamer and you like doing things with your boys, like we like to do, then the PlayStation might not be for you.
Exactly.
Going back to the jump of the generation, and I sent this to you, and we might have talked about it a little bit, but you have to refresh my memory. But at the beginning, um, it was all about resolution, and I don't care about that. I think a
Right.
lot of times you came in the store and I told you, hey, you're not really going to be able to tell the difference, right? You want to be able to have fun and play a game and have fun. You're not going to be
Exactly.
worrying about how many p's, 1080p versus 720. Who really cares about that shit? Even though I bought an Xbox One X because it was supposed to be the best, but the narrative was set by the mainstream gaming media, and that it is what it is. Microsoft is trying to play the catch up game.
Right.
So my question was, why is it okay for Sony, but it's not okay for Xbox? And before you answer, the only conclusion I could come to was, that it's the mainstream gaming media has this thing against Microsoft, and I just don't know what it is. I mean, I feel like they're trying to save PlayStation, and I just, I wanted to make, I look at it like, something that we could talk about NFL, right? I
Right.
look at the gaming media to be the NFL, and regardless, you want best for all teams, right? This is
Right.
how I feel like they should look at it. But they're leaning Sony or Nintendo, and I just don't get it. But that's pretty long-winded, so just jump in where you want to.
Well, I mean, honestly, I believe that the reason why things have changed, I think they're saving face for Sony is because it's maybe it's just media. I mean, maybe it's damage control from what happened in the previous consoles, and from um, last year or the last generation rather, where the PlayStation was like it sold well, but it stumbled coming out the gate. And I think that this year or with the new generation, I think they're just like in love. I think, and I think a lot of this stuff happened from the PlayStation 2. I mean, the PlayStation 2 to me was one of the top consoles that was ever created, and I just think it's really just media that is controlling the narrative. That sounds really like political, but it is. I mean, it really is.
I,
You
I think
know,
you're hitting on a good point. It's like you being a Cowboys fan, and I'm being a closet Cowboys fan. I'll never admit that publicly. If you ask me, I'm in the closet about the Cowboys. But everybody has their favorite team, and I think the console war thing can get a little bit crazy. And I liken it to the NBA, NHL, NFL, whatever have you. Everybody has their favorite team, and it just so happens that my favorite team is Microsoft. We
right,
kind of had Nintendo v Sony back in the day, or Nintendo v Sega if you want to go a little further.
right, for sure.
And when Sony PlayStation came out, it kind of dominated, right? You had all these games, and then it kind of filtered over into the PlayStation 2. So
Mm,
I feel like a lot of guys that are around our age, that core gaming age,
right.
kind of grew up with that, and a lot of people don't have an open mind, and some people say the games on Xbox side is crappy or dog shit or whatever have you. But I think
I hear a lot of that.
you hit the nail on the head with the PlayStation 2. They really didn't have any competition back then, right? I mean, they
Nope.
kind of had the market cornered, kind of like a monopoly, so they were just throwing whatever out. But I honestly can't remember anything, you know, I just don't. I'm thinking, did we really just have that banger on PlayStation 2? Really? Like outside of the God of War games? I mean, what was really out there? I mean, I might, be speaking blasphemous right now, but NBA
I mean,
Street was dope, right? God of
no,
War was
I
dope.
can't really say NBA. I can't say NBA Street. I just think like we got to also look at it from this standpoint. Like when the PlayStation 2 was out, they were dropping games like
Every week,
all every single week. There
every
was
other
not
week.
if it wasn't a AAA title, it was still a game coming. I don't even remember. I can't tell you how many games have come out on the PlayStation 2.
Okay,
You know
so
what I mean?
with what you just said, can you? That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, think back for me and think about the bangers that were coming out. Like, there's this idea that we have to have, you know, like I want to say AAA exclusive games maybe every month, but I'm thinking
Right.
back to the heyday of Sony, and it wasn't like that, and even PlayStation 3, it wasn't like that. Right? They
No, it
had
was not.
the first party exclusive games would come out, maybe every once a quarter, maybe every 2 quarters. I mean, am I tripping?
Mhm. No,
I
not
don't
at
know.
all.
I might not have been
It wasn't
gaming
an every
hard
month
back
thing.
then,
It
but
wasn't an 80 it wasn't an every month thing. As far as I remember, and I mean, no, it wasn't. It was just like, you know, your AAA titles, but you had games that came out that was sprinkled in there, and you had your independent game companies that would drop certain games, and if they took off, then they
you
gave
see
them
the
a little
sequels.
steam. Yeah, they gave them a little steam, and then people would talk about them. Your IGNs, your back then, your
Ugh,
Rooster Teeths back then, your Game Facts, even even with certain
game
sports
packs.
titles, Operation Sports, those type of sites would be like, hey, this game is actually pretty dope, and
Hmm.
then it was up to you if you wanted to go and try it or not. But it wasn't something that was like an every week thing or an every month thing. Not that
Okay,
I remember.
let's flash forward now. So we're now in this generation here, this next generation, and think about the Sony PlayStation games, right? So the hashtag greatness awaits.
Right.
Um, and just let's just think about it. With E3 coming up, and I'll share the news with you that came across. I don't know if you had time to see it. I know you was at the hookah bar, feeling good, but it was leaked today that the PlayStation conference may not be as long. They currently are only sharing that they're going to focus on four main titles coming out.
Get the fuck
And
out of here. Are you
I'm being,
serious?
I'm being 100% serious. So I'll share the article with you in a tweet.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good. Hashtag greatness awaits. And if you recall back to what I said, um, 2 weeks ago. Shit, it's been 2 weeks. But I said, out of all the games we were talking about, none of them were multiplayer. And you got
Mhm.
four games, and I think Sony's being real. I call it real sneaky. Some people call it smart marketing, smart maneuvering. But you got Spider Man.
Okay.
We seen that the
Which
last two.
would probably come out what, 2 weeks after that? After the
We
fact of E3?
yeah after we seen that
Okay.
the
Or
last two
no, I'm sorry, that's a
E3s.
couple of months. That's a couple of months, my bad.
Every E3 that we watch, I've been very vocal about that, right?
Right.
I don't like seeing games that we've seen in previous E3s. I just don't like it.
I
You know,
understand.
I, I
I
think
get it.
I think it's for you to announce stuff that we haven't seen before. Now, okay, you want to show some gameplay, that's great, but don't run that out there like it's a big deal. Okay, so Spider-Man, right? We know about it. Days Gone, we know
Right.
about it. It's been pushed back now. That was one of the games I was excited about, right?
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima
Uh
and The Last
don't
of Us Part Two. Okay,
okay.
those four
Which has
titles.
has question. before you go into further detail, did Last of Us 2 get a solid release date?
No, no,
Okay.
this is just a game they're focusing on,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and it was made very clear in the article that they will not be focusing on their next gen console, which PlayStation 5 was rumored to be a thing that was going to be shown at, at E3. So, a PlayStation fan, are you a little salty? React. Gotta
Yeah,
react.
yeah. I mean, like you said, these conferences are supposed to be focusing on the future of gaming, right? If we're focusing on the future, then it's okay to cover what you have coming down the pike, but at this point, it's more present because we already know that those games are coming out. They've already
Mhm,
covered those games.
mhm,
So why do we need to keep covering them again? You know
mhm.
what I mean? Like we don't need to cover something we already know is coming out. You already built us up with the hype.
Yeah,
Days Gone, like I'm like honestly, I don't look forward to that game because I already know it's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but I already know it's coming out, so I don't need to know anything else. Now, unless they're giving away like solid release dates, then I don't care. And the
yeah,
fact that you just told me that they're going to focus on 4 titles leads me to believe one, they're probably going to spend 10 to 15 minutes on each of those titles and they're going to call it quits. They may throw some trailers in there, some sizzle trailers, and that's it. And guess what? I don't fucking care.
Well, no, I think they do this well, right? I gotta call them out here. I gotta speak the truth, right? Sony is, uh, uh, they like to wait and see. You know, they like, I guess, they like Microsoft being the test dummy,
Mhm.
and that's what I like about Microsoft. They try new things, and they might get killed for it, but at least they try, right? They try to connect. They always go first at E3, and then Sony has a whole 8 to 12 hours to react to how we as gamers respond to Microsoft's conference. So
Right.
you know um, I think they're waiting. They have their E3 lined up. They're going to talk about their exclusives, and then in between those, right, they have the marketing deals for the Red Dead. Red Dead's going to be shown on a stage. So these games they have the marketing deals for that will be they'll be shown on their stage in between all the exclusives. So it'll probably be a decent show. I just
I'm not
man,
pumped about that. What you're telling, but again, it's like
hashtag
you
greatness awaits. I think that shit is still waiting. It's like when you're on top, when you're considered the best. I think people have the right to be critical, or you know when you claim to be the best. Right? It's like LeBron James, right? If I can use LeBron, he's the best, right? So people are critical of his game, including myself, right? He's the
right,
most talked about. He's the most scrutinized. The most critical.
right.
While but I don't see this with Sony. I see it kind of now with this leak, but it's kind of softball. You know what I mean? Like people are talking about it, but they're really not like, oh shit, we have a problem. Like ringing the alarms. If the tables would turn, the damn world would be burning if Microsoft only had 4 games to show. Right? It's a
They would
complete
be
opposite.
clowning. They would
It's
be
a
clowning Microsoft right now.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to allude to is the world would be burning, man. It's just a total opposite. And Microsoft, give up, stop making games, all this here nonsense, right? So that's the double standard that I was alluding to at the beginning of the show. It's Sony gets a pass, Nintendo gets a pass, Microsoft gets fucking shit on, but um, man, that's really it on the Sony side. I really don't know. It's like I was asking you and Hawk last show, man. What game? If you're the greatest, what you got to be? In my opinion, you got to be able to do it all, right? You got to be able to
Exactly.
provide a single player experience. You got to be able to provide a multiplayer experience. You got to have like, the best, services. And Sony's a wait and see kind of company, right? They kind of, what's the quote about imitation? I know you know it. Imitation.
It's a form of flattery.
Okay. So when you think about Sony, that when I think about Sony, I can't project the way I feel onto anybody, including you. I see them as imitating, right? They
Okay.
took let's go back to last generation, like we were talking about earlier. If you go back to the 360, right? You remember that? I think I called you the next day when I got my 360, or we talked about it. But anyway, um, the 360 was out a year ahead, right? And I remember us talking about JD being in line at Walmart,
Right.
needing that PlayStation, and it took me a while to coerce him over, but he finally came over, and look at him now. So, but it took them a year, right?
Right. Right.
You remember how much JD spent on his PlayStation 3?
I remember how much I spent on my PlayStation
How
3.
much did you
And
spend?
620.
620, right? And you can get now Xbox One X, it's 500, and look at what it's doing, but
Right.
they were praising that console, right? What was the 60 gig that was backwards compatible, kinda ish,
Kinda
right?
ish. And
I was working
yeah,
I was at the
it,
store at that time.
it was very specific. It was
Right.
very specific on what. And okay, so and then for me, the main reason I had to get that is because I'm gonna be just frankly like straight up with y'all. $600 is a lot of money.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money. That's a
So
lot of
back
money,
then, it
man.
was a lot of money. Back
I
then, it
maybe
was a lot
got
of money.
one. Yeah, that's a lot of money, man. And I just didn't have the financial stability to just drop $600 and then go
Right.
get a game and get
Right.
not one game but multiple games. I
Right.
didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I got lucky. I had for me, I had one title, maybe two, but other
Right.
than that, man, I didn't have the ends to get the games that I really wanted, so I had to make a decision. Either I'm
Yeah.
gonna get this system and I'm gonna get maybe one game, two. I think I ended up getting two games. I think I ended up getting Madden and something else. I can't remember what the other game was, but the main reason I had to focus on getting that $600 console is because I still had other games that I could play until basically I could afford to get new games
Yeah.
for the PS3.
Now,
That's just the way it was.
and so Sony waited a year, right? They came out with a stronger powered console, visually.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the exclusives they released with,
It was
right?
terrible. They were bad.
Think about where the 360 was at the end and where the PlayStation was, right? They were slowly trying to catch up to Microsoft, right? We had the better community online, right? It started
Exactly.
off slow, but it started to evolve into this thing. We were paying for the gold membership, and so how I feel. Free is not always the best thing, right? I used to
Exactly.
always tell you guys in the store, hey, you can pay for this nice cheese over here, or you can get that government cheese. Which one's
Exactly.
gonna taste better, right? Is what
Exactly.
you're gonna pay. And so I think they finally realized to a point, right? Because guys used to come in, and we were in the rough part of the city, and I used to try to convince guys like yourself, hey, yes, you have to pay for this membership, but these are the benefits versus not paying for a service and you're trying to use, a mediocre service to play Call of Duty and it's just not
Exactly.
working. Come on over
Exactly.
here where the service is working. You could get in it, you could talk to, you could send messages, you got all these benefits, right?
Yep.
And
And just to clear the record, like I feel really bad that I did, because basically, I'm not gonna lie, I treated the Xbox 360 like I treated the first Xbox. It looked good, it looked pretty, it looks real nice. When people, people are like, oh, what's that? You be like, oh, that's an Xbox, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
people are always like, what is that? But majority of the time, when the Xbox first came out, I was no go for paying online. That was just not
That wasn't
it for
hot.
me. It
Right.
was not hot. So guess what ended up happening? That Xbox ended up sitting in the closet for a year. So it
Yeah.
sat on ice for a year
Yeah. I
until
remember you
Gears of
telling
War
me.
came out. And that was, and like you said, you convinced me. It took me a while to really just get on Xbox Live like that, but it's been like that ever since, and I haven't turned back. And I've had PlayStation Gold or PlayStation Plus for off and on, throughout the years.
Mhm.
But my Xbox Live subscription has never faded.
Right, and that we go back to the imitation, right? They imitated Microsoft, and I know Microsoft, sees somebody doing something and they imitate it. I remember when the Wii came out, and you could make the little avatars, and then that
Exactly.
that blew up. Microsoft had their version, and then Sony came out with that dog shit. The PlayStation Home
Oh my
took up
gosh, that
most
was
of your
terrible.
memory on your damn PlayStation. But
Oh
but
man, that was
but
terrible.
yeah, they kind of imitated Microsoft there, and then as the next generation rolls around, nobody's slaying them for it. I'm talking, let's slay these guys for it. No, they were praised for it. Like, they had the stronger console.
Mhm.
Microsoft went for the cheap again, and they had the better games at release. But
Mhm.
all of a sudden, this narrative changed, and I couldn't understand why. You have these release titles over here. I think it was like Forza, Rise, Son of Rome,
Yep.
freaking what's the other game that I haven't played? Gamer loves that game, but I just never gave it over the damn. They run around the city and you can skate on. You can grind on poles and Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah,
There you
Sunset
go.
Overdrive.
They had
Was
all
that?
these. I think it was a little bit after, and of course, they had the beast. I think you were working at EA. The Titanfall, that's my shit. I love the original
Oh man.
Titanfall. I think it's the game of the generation. People might call me crazy, but I spent so much time on that game. I love that game. But we had all these exclusive games, and the media was just pushing that PlayStation. And here you have uh, they they now introduce uh, their membership, PlayStation Plus membership, and you have to pay for
PlayStation
their
Plus.
online.
Yep.
And still to this day, I scratch my head like, why? I've never had it one time. I've
Yep.
never had a
You've
PlayStation
never
Plus
had PlayStation
membership.
Plus?
Never. For what?
Whoa.
What reason? Why do you need
Whoa.
that? Why do you
Whoa.
why do you need that? Why do you need that, bro? I'm not paying a plus membership to play Broforce. I'm just not. You could try.
Bro Force.
You could try to run the Last of Us, Last of Us multiplayer or Uncharted multiplayer or even the Destiny. I don't care about that exclusive Destiny content.
Me
No one
neither.
who really cares about a fucking gun. We're playing the game right now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I'm not hate. I mean, I kind of am throwing a little, but I think I'm speaking facts. And I've just got to be real, bro. You just don't need a PlayStation Plus membership right now. They have no exclusive cooperative multiplayer experience that will require you to own PlayStation Plus unless that is your only platform that you play on. Then I can
Right.
understand that. But if you're a platform owner like myself, like yourself, like the rest of the guys on the podcast,
Hmm.
you really got to question yourself, man. You're giving these guys $65 for a single player experience, every quarter or whatever it is they're doing. They imitating. And if you're the greatest, I'm not seeing it. Let me show me. Show me. I need the triple double, triple threat.
So
You
let
know,
me ask you this: if they were coming out with something, if they were killing it and coming out with something every
quarter.
single month, like if they came out with a AAA title that was a beast every single month,
Mhm.
but it was single player,
Mhm.
would you invest?
No, no. You know my policy. It was single player. No, I had a problem. I struggled to buy God of War. You know this.
Yeah,
You know this.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
just about 6 months ago, my favorite store in the world, the pawn shop, I walked in and picked up Uncharted 4 for $9. $9. Why? I mean, think about
Oh,
it. Think about it. I know this weekend is Mother's Day. But if you happen to drive by your local pawn shop, just or any weekend, just go in there and just say, "I'm just looking around." Man, you'll be surprised what you see in there. And most of the time, you can kind of haggle a little bit.
right,
Hey,
right.
I got a 20. Can I get two for 20? Oh yeah, most of the guys they in a good mood. They'll take care of you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I just I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I mean, some people will say that that's anti-gamer, or I'll get called a video game terrorist by my favorite, you know, one of my favorite Xbox homies. But it is what it is. I'm speaking facts. Would you rather pay because gaming is timeless, man. I don't know if I said
Yes.
this ago.
I mean, it is
Gaming
though.
is timeless, right? And if the game is great today, it'll be great, 6 months down the line. Like right now,
Right.
God of War is an afterthought, right? You had this news that dropped today, and I feel like Sony, they call them ponies in the community. I really don't want to call them now. I mean, I'll just say Sony fans. Fuck it, you ponies. But you got these guys who are hardcore Sony fans. They a little shook right now because it's mighty quiet. It's
It
mighty
is.
quiet.
It is quiet.
It's
It is
mighty
quiet.
quiet. I mean, you got the help from the gaming media with the God of War, and trust me, God of War is a great game, man. It's a great game. It's not a 10, but it's a great game. If for what it is, it's not God of War of last gen. I'll tell you that. It's evolved into something
Right.
else. I call
Yeah.
it God of War having a baby with Dark Souls. They
Yeah.
mashed together each other and popped out a baby, and this is what you have: God of War, Thor, the Thor remix on them. This is what that
Yeah.
game is, man. And it's a good game for what it is, but I got my gripes about it. But now you shook, right? What are we doing? What am I seeing on Twitter? I don't know if you're seeing this, but I'm seeing updates come across my Google Plus feed or my Twitter feed. Screen selfie mode enabled on God of War, and I'm looking like, man, what the fuck? What is this
Yeah. I don't
shit?
care about that.
We taking selfies now, Tim Wayne and God of War?
I don't care about no damn selfies in
So
God of
Tim
War.
Wayne, Tim Wayne, we taking selfies, man.
Yeah.
Tim
I
Wayne,
did see. I did see a tweet, and it was like Kratos takes his first selfie, and he actually smiles. Retweet for good luck.
you come on, bruh. Are you kidding me? Is that what we doing now?
Yeah, I don't give
We
a damn
taking
about no damn
selfies,
selfie.
bruh.
Yeah, I don't care
We
about
taking
that.
selfies, bruh. That
No,
Kratos taking selfies? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not taking
I'm,
no
I'm
selfies with
cussing. I'm
Kratos.
cussing too. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing a little bit. I'm just. Please forgive me, you two. Please forgive me, you two. We taking selfies now. Let me get off my rant. I just don't get it, man. It's dead. It's not dead, but that's it. And now you
So you
shook.
saying God of War is dead? The hype is dead?
The hype is over. Nobody's talking about that, man. It's 2 weeks gone.
I
Six
mean,
months. Well,
I've had
let me.
people ask me
Mm,
about God of War.
okay. Really?
Are you still playing it? Blah blah blah. Like, how are you liking it? And I told
This
them, I
shit.
tell
It's
everybody
too
the same
hard.
thing.
It's too
It's
hard for some guys.
it
It's too
is too
hard
hard
for
for
some
some people.
guys.
I said, look, I am enjoying the game. I'm not trying to mash through it like everybody else. Because when I was playing, I was like, man, like I'm missing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm missing stuff because I can see it like in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I need to just slow down, bro. Like,
Well, you can hear it, when Atreus speaks. He's like, we can keep going or we can explore. He's trying
right.
to,
He's
and
giving
that,
you a hint.
yeah. And so I'm looking at it sideways with the sideways eyes, like Gamer Son would say. I'm looking at it like, what, what do you mean? Like, come, this is God of War. Like, the boss is supposed to be laid out, and I'm not supposed to go searching for this. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we was in the hood, like we're gonna go search for these. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
done
yeah,
had this boss battle. Now let's go find this other boss battle. Like,
yeah.
no, I like my God of War experience laid out for me from stage to stage. I'm here. I whoop this dude's butt. I'm going to the next stage. I don't want to have to, realign the map and then travel through a portal to get,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I did beat the game and I do own it, so I'll go back and do some of that stuff. But
You ain't gonna go back. You're not gonna go
I
back.
will,
You're not gonna go back. I'm
I
telling
will,
you right now, you're not gonna go back. I don't think you
I,
are.
I will go back. I will go back and I'll stream it. I'll stream it when I do go back, right? So I finished the game, and how far are you? Let's talk about it.
I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but like,
Man, if you ain't, it's 3 weeks later, bro. You ain't spoiling it for
okay,
nobody.
so
If
okay,
they if
so
they if they if they ain't there, they gave up because it was too hard for them.
it's right
Step your
before
game up. Step your
I'm right
game
before
up if you ain't beat the game yet.
I'm right before I get before chaos. Before chaos. I'll just leave it there.
Okay, so you fought the stranger already, right?
Yeah,
How many times?
I think twice already now.
Okay, so I don't know. You know how I am. I won't watch the story like my man Hawk will watch. And I don't want to see that. I want to experience the game for myself. Gamer and I kind of share this. I think you shared a little bit. We don't want to see nothing. We want to
Yeah.
play through the game. So, I didn't even fight a boss. It, I've had a battle.
Okay.
Okay, I had a battle. I don't want to say nothing. I had a battle, and I got on the boat.
Okay.
I went to where I needed to, and the credits came down.
No.
And I looked I looked at my wife. And I said, I just beat the game, I think. I think. I'm not sure. But I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong and somebody will call me out on the bullshit. But it didn't end the way I thought it would end. And there
Okay.
may be some things I need to go back and do, but I seen the credits roll and my eyes kind of got wide, like, And the first thought in my mind, I know you're gonna call me an asshole, but I was like, damn, I dropped out like $40 for this shit.
Oh God. Oh God.
I could have just waited about 6 more months and looked at the Black Friday ad. This should be $30 if I want to really talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
But
Well, one thing I will say,
but
I will give God of War this. No season pass.
yeah,
That's good.
no season pass is over. I mean,
No.
people are speculating at a certain point. You can see some things that would lead you to believe that the game could be set up for 3 more games. But I don't want to spoil if you hadn't seen that. And
Nope.
I ran into that too, where I seen this little this interaction. But unless they drop like something like Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, they drop that DLC a little later. I just don't see it,
But
man.
they
I
never.
think
I mean, but no, they can't. The season pass. No season pass. Though I don't listen.
no season pass, but absolutely they could drop some DLC. I mean, it's doable. Horizon Zero Dawn did not have a season pass.
That's
They
true.
just dropped the Frozen Wildlands DLC, and
Which I've
I
heard
looked
is
at that.
actually very good. I need to play that.
Okay, yeah. Buy it, Black Friday, 2018 when that shit is $4.99, and be good.
I mean,
Um,
I have Horizon Zero Dawn. I just haven't beat it.
no,
Like,
no, no. I have it as well. I'm talking about the DLC. I think it was like
oh,
$30 when
okay,
it
I see
first
what you're
came
saying.
out.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah,
It's up there.
nah. So now the hype is over, and you have these games, right? Spider-Man. And
Right.
I think Spider-Man is going to be another okay middle of the road game.
Oh man, this got to be a good Spider-Man game because we haven't had a good Spider-Man game honestly since PlayStation 2.
Uh, well,
Like,
here's the thing, and I asked. No, no, I actually like the Spider-Man: The Shattered Dimensions game.
I
I
didn't
like
play
that
that.
game. It's a decent game. And I think I was coming home in the car, and I was talking to either gamer or you. I don't know. You got to think back, but I was saying, how many times can you play a Spider-Man game and then expect the next one to be different, right? What's the
I
core?
mean,
We know the core of Spider-Man, so basically we're slapping the last Spider-Man game and mashing it together with The Last of Us, looks like, and then you mash that together with Arkham, the Arkham game mechanics, and this is a Spider-Man. This is the new Spider-Man that they're running out there. That's the way it looked from me. If I'm looking at it from everything that I've seen, now it
that's a
looks
big, but
beautiful.
that's a really that's a hell of a comparison. Because I mean, did we not like the Batman games? I mean, I love the Batman games.
I mean, I love the Batman games, but come on now, show me something. Show me something. Don't act like this is the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread. I cussed again. Damn it. We've seen Spider-Man done up one way and down the other. Like come on, that
But have we
over.
really seen? But honestly, can you tell? I mean, I didn't play Shattered Dimensions, and maybe that's something I need to go and check some YouTube videos out or about something or whatever the case may
You gotta
be.
play
But
it. You gotta play it.
I did not see a good. I haven't seen a good Spider-Man game in a long time.
Right. Right.
A long time. I'm saying Spider-Man 2 was
Mm-hmm.
probably the best one that I can remember.
Right. Well, you got to go back and look at some of those, man. You also had there was another Spider-Man running on the same engine as Prototype. That game was pretty good as well. I can't remember the name
Okay.
of that game. It was a pretty dope game. But yeah, I mean, you could be hyped for Spider-Man. I can see that. It's not for me. Like I said, just like with God of War, it's not a day one purchase. That's something I can hold off for, and wait for. Days Gone, I'm super hyped for. And the Ghost of Tsushima, we haven't seen anything but a trailer. If
Right.
that's like Ninja Gaiden, then I'm gonna be hyped for that. But that's just like a wait and see. And then The Last of Us
Right.
2. I own the game on PlayStation 2. You know how I am. Not PlayStation 2, excuse me, PlayStation 3 digitally. I feel some type of way about buying it again. The remaster version, but I
Right.
think I may have to just to finish the game. I'm probably 1/4 way through the game, like a quarter, finish. But I'll go
Right.
back
Right.
and finish that. If I'm not playing something from Microsoft, and we could kind of slide into Microsoft now. We got about 15 minutes left, and kind of like allude to that and kind of maybe split this up. But with Sony having a lackluster show from everything that we could see up until this point, Microsoft, I don't know, man. I think I sent you a screenshot of a list that leaked,
Mm-hmm.
and for everybody that doesn't know, I got the list right here. So we know Final Fantasy VII remakes coming. We've seen that like 2 or 3 E3s already.
Yep.
What we did not see was Just Cause 4. I haven't played any of the Just Cause since the first Just Cause. I know Gamer and Hawk are huge fans of the game. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
played the game,
I
Um,
did. I did.
right now, the third one is on sale, or it was on sale for like $7.99 or something in the Microsoft Store, which is really good. I
Yep.
think the XL version was like $10 or $12.
Yep.
But Just Cause 4, that's a thing. Splinter Cell, there's a rumor out that Microsoft's got like a timed exclusive on that game. Splinter Cell started off on the box. It was one of those mature games that was exclusive to the original Xbox. Kind of grimy, opposite of Metal Gear is like, real life type shit. No,
Yep.
none of that crazy Kojima stuff that he likes to do. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, this is a game I think has the potential to be Game of the Year. Months ago, maybe even a year ago, we saw a demo of this game, and the
Yeah, a
scale.
pretty detailed demo too.
Man, if you think back to that game, the scale of what he was doing and the planets, I was like, oh my god, this game
Yeah,
has
it looks
potential.
good. That that
Uh,
that uh that that demo looks real good.
So we got two games right now that we know Microsoft has the marketing rights to. By the way, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Sony will be showing that probably on their stage, even though Square Enix has their own show this year. But
Okay.
that'll be another game that's probably shown on the PlayStation stage. Just Cause, not
Mhm.
sure. It's a multi-plat. Splinter Cell probably on the Microsoft stage. Beyond Good and Evil on the Microsoft stage for sure. Dragon Quest 2, I never played those. Tim Wayne, maybe you
I
can.
never played the Dragon Quest. I did want to play those, but
JRPG
I
type stuff.
remember, man, I couldn't get into those JRPGs, man. It's hard. It's hard for me to do it.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to defer to Gamer for that. Maybe Hog knows a little bit about that. Last two, we talked about Assassin's Creed. There's a new Assassin's Creed game. Microsoft will probably have the marketing rights to that. They have the.
What do you think they're gonna? What time frame do you think they're gonna?
I don't know. I don't know. Because I haven't played the last one. I'm waiting for it to go on sale in the red box. You can call
Oh
me a jerk
man,
or
it's a great
whatever.
game. Origins is a great game.
I saw a collector's edition in the pawn shop in Georgetown. I almost pulled the trigger on it, but they had that shit overpriced. It had the metal tin and everything. Almost
Oh
did it,
damn.
excuse me, but I didn't do it. I'll go back and check maybe this weekend. Lego DC Villains. I know you're hyped for that shit.
Kind of not, but
Bo-
whatever.
Border, border, Borderlands 3. There's a rumor
Now
floating around.
that is a game that I'm hyped for.
Yes, yes. Impossible. That's a shout out to Hawk Onyx. He knows what I'm talking about. Impossible. Rage 2. Now, I did not play the first Rage game. I think it's a first person shooter. But
Yeah, it is.
a lot of people are hype about this game. So that
It's
might be
it's it's
something.
it's got its cult following. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not a big AAA title because I don't remember it being one when it came out, but I
Mhm.
do remember seeing, people buying that game multiple times back then.
Okay, we might have to check and see if that's backwards compatible, that first game, and then of course we're getting the new Forza game. We kind of fell off after Need for Speed Underground, at least me.
Yeah.
Haven't been really big into the street racing games anymore. And then of course you got your couple of Nintendo titles for you, Yoshi, Super Smash Brothers, and then Metro Prime. I heard one guy on one of my favorite YouTubers podcasts say that Metro Prime 4 was going to be the game of the year. So we'll wait and see on that. But the biggest game on this
Let
list.
me ask you a question. And
uh,
maybe this is I don't know. Is are these games that we're talking about that could be potential games of the year?
No.
Um,
This is just a list that leaked from, I think it was Walmart in Canada leaked this on accident. Games that you could pre-order.
what?
Fucking
Yeah,
Walmart in Canada. I was on their
yeah.
I was on their website actually, and their website set up nice up there. So no, they accidentally leaked on the Walmart website, and then
No,
somebody
but
broke up the
my,
story.
my my question is this like just? Cause I've played Metroid games.
Hmm.
I don't understand the Metroid games.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out, is this a cultural thing?
No, I
Like,
mean
am I? Am I
No, I
missing the
mean,
boat on this? Because I don't think Metroid is that great. I know
well,
some
well,
people are gonna roll over right now, but
well,
it don't stick. It doesn't have that impact on me.
right. We have to defer to the Killer Monkey Goat on that. KMG, he's about to, be have some time in the summer, so maybe he can join us, on a show or two and talk about that.
Okay,
Because that just wasn't my thing. Maybe
me
Gamer
neither.
played it a little bit. Gamer used to go a little bit harder on the Nintendo titles than I did. The Banjo Kazooies of the world and all that stuff.
Right.
But the biggest game on the list, man, is Gears 5. I don't know if you knew that. The Gears 5 can
Oh
be
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah. I'm pumped about Gears 5.
So we don't know. I mean, we did not play Gears 4 that tough, and I know you've been pushing for us to play it, and I'm gonna make that my challenge for this next week or two is to try to get that game done. So you know how I felt about Marcus and Coltrane. Those characters are iconic. Dom,
Yeah,
Beard. Those to me, those some iconic. That's like Mario level,
yeah.
and for them to be dismissed so soon, I kind of,
Did you feel a
just
certain way about it?
I lashed back out at Microsoft and really didn't support Gears 4, for that. I was like, you killed off, you can't kill off, not kill off, but you can't make, you know, you can't not make Marcus and Delta Team. I think I'm saying that right. I might have fucked that up, but Delta Squad or whatever. You can't make them not the core focus of the game.
But how
Um,
far have you got into? Because I was when Gears of War came out, I bought the console.
mhm,
Every year that they come out with a new Gears of War, I bought the Xbox exclusive controller that they announced at E3 last year.
mhm.
I still have it. I still keep my gear stuff because of just
2 years ago, right?
the impact that it made for me, man. Like I would not be
The
on Xbox
Xbox
Live
guy.
if it
If it
wasn't
wasn't
for
for
Gears of
that
War.
game. Yeah, I feel you. I'm right there with you. I think that game was a game that made me look at Microsoft and just be like, oh my God, this shit. I mean, I was already into Microsoft with the whole Knights of the Old Republic, but we just haven't seen anything, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
that. They haven't had that big title this generation. So maybe we might see it at this E3. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited about the Gears 5. I'm gonna finish Gears 4 maybe in the next 2 weeks. Won't be doing a lot of gaming with it being Mother's Day weekend this weekend. So um man. But just looking at that versus Sony, I mean, there's not really much there. If Microsoft has a Gears that they run out there, that's equal on the same level as a God of War. So
Exactly. To me, it is. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
I agree. Microsoft needs to do better at pushing that game, though. I
that,
think they were kind of weak on pushing Gears of War 4
hmm
because a lot of people wasn't feeling Marcus Phoenix's, his son,
yeah.
So, but I really think that they need to try to push that, man.
Well, and I could be critical. We'll be critical. I think next week's show, I want to dive into Microsoft, and I'll be a little critical, man. They're a little soft. They're not. It's not the same company that I'm used to, and of course, I'm overly competitive. Like we're talking about earlier in the show, you want your team to dominate and win. The team you
Exactly.
root for. I want throats to be stepped on.
Right.
Step on them. I
And
don't
I
want
get
to
it,
be
but
friends. I don't want you to be streaming God of War. I just don't want it. I don't want you, Mike Ibarra and Phil Spence to be, streaming those games, man.
right.
You can't. That would be like uh, Zeke wearing a Giants jersey on his off day. You know how many people would lose their dang mind if they seen that, bro?
Yeah.
He wouldn't
It
be
would
there.
yeah, it'd be nuts.
He just wouldn't be there, man. So Um, hopefully, I appreciate you taking the time out to hang out with your boy. I was about to go live by myself. I was just gonna
Oh no,
say,
no, no, no,
F
no,
it,
no.
let's just get it in and and whatever I feel like talking about. But we made it happen. I said we're gonna do 30 minutes, man. We got into the flow and we did an hour. But hopefully, those other guys will join us next week and um, be a part of the show. I know they're, like I said, dealing with things outside of their control and stuff. Hawk probably knocked out with a sandwich in one hand and a half beer in the
other. Yeah. He's probably double fisting them beers, man.
Yeah. Or I could go jump on the box and he'll send me a party chat like, man, what's up? Just woke up. But no, man, let's just shut the show down and you can just I'll let you lead off. Talk about what you're gonna do this week. Talk about what you're gonna be playing outside of celebrating Mother's Day with your moms.
Yep.
I know we talked about that State of Decay that game that the remaster.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna be getting into that. Just let us know what you're gonna be doing, man.
Well, speaking of State of Decay, I did not get to fully enjoy State of Decay when it first came out. I was having a hard time trying to wrap my mind around the concept of the game. It kind of reminds me of what's the 2K game that came out that everybody likes with the aliens?
XCOM.
XCOM, meaning like if your god dies that you created or that you saved, he's done. You're not gonna see him again.
Yeah,
so that kind of, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of bothered me a little bit. But I am gonna go ahead and I did utilize the Xbox Game Pass and I will be playing it. I started it. The installation is complete and ready to go. I will continue to play God of War and enjoy that and just kind of take that in. Again, everybody's kind of mashed over it, and I don't think people really put in the time to play the game. So I'm going to be doing that. I recently really just kind of dove back into Madden for some reason. I wasn't feeling Madden this year. No, I'm lying. I was feeling Madden. I wasn't feeling Madden Ultimate Team. I am kind of the stuff that they released recently. I do kind of like as far as content for the game. So I'm back to playing that a little bit more. So that's the 3 games that I'm going to be focusing on. I always try to throw a sports title in there. Just like you're pretty competitive. I'm pretty competitive too. Especially when it comes to sports titles. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And while we're talking about sports, and I'm going to tie this into what you were saying earlier, TJ, about, you wanting your team that you root for as far as Microsoft to go hard, to step on throats. Everybody wants the gaming community wants games to be good. Just like in the NFL, you want the NFL to be good, you want the NBA to be good. But it says something when the marquee teams like your Bears, your Cowboys, your Saints and these other, hardcore large fan based teams are doing well, just like the NBA, your Lakers and your Knicks. Is something special when those guys are good. So we need Microsoft to do the same. And, we need them to come through. We need them to follow through. I think they're on the right road. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like they're on the right road, man.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. We're not too far. I think we're like 2 or 3 weeks removed from E3. Side note, I was in 5 and Below the other day, and they had freaking Madden 17 in there for PlayStation and Xbox One. I shook my head like, oh, they also had FIFA in there. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they do that. I've actually seen quite a few games in there. I've seen some Nintendo Wii U stuff in there. For
Madden though, with Gronk on the cover. I almost bought one. I almost bought one. I was close. I'm like, nah, I got the 18 at the house. So in closing, man, like I was saying, I'm gonna touch on the Gears of War and touch on some of that State of Decay. Get refreshed. I did beat the game on 360. I haven't touched this latest one. I did buy it from the Red Box for $10. I might add that was a pretty sweet deal.
That's
That's
amazing that you did that.
pretty
That's
sweet
pretty
deal,
good.
right? From the Red Box when it dropped. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for us, man. We're gonna shut it down. Shout out to everybody that watched the show throughout the week. We didn't have any people chime in live, but we are going to get better. I am going to get better. I'm going to take care of my page, and this is all new to me, all new to us as a group of friends. But we're going to get better and better as each show goes by. We appreciate everybody watching throughout the week, taking the time out to watch or listen to a couple of guys just shoot the breeze about something that we're passionate about. So if you
Exactly.
could, follow us on Twitter, Tim Wayne with the Twitter.
My Twitter handle is Tim Wayne, all together. Just hit me up. You want to talk? Let's do it.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter at Legend4. That's Legend 1V. Legend IV was taken, so Legend 4, but substitute the I with a 1, and you got me. So get at me. Please hit the thumbs up if you would be so kind to help some guys coming up in this whole YouTube game. We're learning, but we're trying to find trying to find our spot in this streaming business. And if you could subscribe so you can catch all the new content whenever we drop it, that would be greatly appreciated. Leave a comment down below, things you like, things you didn't like, and then look for us to go live next Friday, 9:30. Hopefully everybody is good to go, getting primed, got the golf out the way, got the work out the way, got the beer out the way, got the gaming out the way. All right. Everybody stay up. Tim Wayne, hit him with the Sean Adams if you would, sir.
I don't remember Sean Adams. I don't remember the sign off, but rest in peace to that guy, because that guy was a beast, man.
Was a beast. I'll have to listen. I'll have to listen to it, and then we'll have to go out with that as a tribute to my man Sean Adams, who inspired us to be better.
I think I remember it. I think it goes, the dreams are free, but it's something about you got to put in the work.
Yeah. The dream is free and the hustle is sold separately. Y'all
exactly.
do something for somebody out there this week, man, and we'll get at y'all next week. I appreciate it, Tim Wayne.
See you.